I know you've heard of oxtails, but have you ever thought about smoking them? Well, I did. And they were smoking. Hey, welcome to Cooking with Sylv Mack, and today I am representing my alma mater, Spelman College, class of 1988. You better know it, grade 88. Anyway, but today I'm gonna make one of my favorite meals. I'm telling you, if it was a choice, if I had a last meal and it was a choice between oxtails and gumbo, I'm not sure which one I would choose because those are my two absolute favorite meals. But before we get started, we all know we have to pay homage to my mom, Sylv Mack Sr. I'm Sylv Mack Jr., so she always would cook with glass of white wine. So I'm holding down the tradition, Mom. Anyway, so let's get started. We're gonna make some oxtails and we're gonna do it in like a two-step process because I have seasoned them. I'm gonna tell you what I have seasoned them with. And then I'm gonna put them out on the grill and let them smoke for about an hour at about 250 degrees just to get them nice and smoky. And then I'm gonna put them into my trusty old-fashioned pressure cooker. So I know that they have the electronic kind and all of that with the Instapot. That's fabulous. You can also use that. It's not a problem. I'm old school and I got the old-fashioned kind. So let me tell you first how I seasoned up the oxtails. So I have about 7 pounds of oxtails here, you can see, and I did a rough chop on the onion and I put that in there. It's best if you season it, if you can probably do it the night before and then let them marinate so all of those flavors can marry together. That's good. I got up early this morning and did it. So I wish I would have done it last night, but I just didn't have the time. So let's talk about what I've seasoned it with. This is some of the best stuff ever. And a short story behind the oxtails. I used to live in Miami, and my oldest girlfriend, Tracy, she had a nanny, and she taught me how to make oxtails, and she was from Jamaica. So she said, girl, get yourself some oxtail seasonings, and this Blue Mountain Country is the best. So I seasoned it with this, also with some Adobe, some garlic powder, just a little bit of this Blue Mountain curry powder. You don't want a big curry flavor because it's oxtails, but I just sprinkle a little on there just to give it a little oomph. Of course, some black pepper, some fresh thyme, and some browning syrup type stuff. It makes it darker and it does give it a nice little flavor. And I'm also going to add some green onions and some fresh thyme. Now, the other thing is, I know that I put some garlic powder on there already, but I'm gonna still put some garlic in the gravy because I love garlic. So to me, you can never have too much garlic. So what I did is I seasoned up the meat, and I also used about half of just a yellow onion, and I put that in there and let that marinate. And the other thing that you also could use is a Scotch bonnet pepper. You don't want to puncture it though when you're cooking it because it is way too hot. But if you decided to braise them instead of putting them in the pressure cooker, then just get a Scotch bonnet pepper. Don't puncture it or cut it. And you put it in there with the oxtails and you let them braise, for a couple of hours until they're nice and tender. I'm not gonna put a pepper in though because I'm doing the pressure cooker. And if you put it in with the pressure cooker, that will make the pepper explode and puncture. And I've done that before and it becomes too hot to eat. The other thing too is I'm in Arizona and we don't have Scotch bonnet peppers, which is killing me. But if you wanted to, you can use a habanero pepper or you can use a serrano pepper too. I would not puncture either one though when you're cooking it because it will make it really hot, especially if you did the habanero pepper. Just a little tip for you. You can also, like I said, I'm going to do mine in the grill and then I'm gonna put it in the pressure cooker. You can certainly just get like a nice heavy pot and braise them, brown them in there and then braise it. put it in the oven and cook it low and slow for about 290 degrees, 300 degrees, and cook it for a couple of hours until they're nice and tender. I normally do it that way. I just wanted to do it something different on my grill and try something new. So let's get started. I'm gonna put these out on the grill and get them smoking, and then we're gonna bring them back in and put them in that pressure cooker, and probably in about an hour I will have some oxtail. Let's get started and let's head out to the grill. I got my wine and I'm ready to go. Okay, so my wonderful husband is now shooting. Say hey, hubby.
Hey, hubby.
Anyway, so I'm out here. I have put the oxtails, as you can see. See if you can get this thing, honey, out on the grill. And I decided to put the onions in there too and let them smoke up as well. And even the green onions. So I'm gonna let these smoke. I've got them on 250. I'm gonna let them smoke only for about an hour. Then I'll take them off and I'm gonna finish them off inside in the pressure cooker.
Oh my goodness. Take a look at these beautiful oxtails. They've been cooking now for about an hour, so it's time to take them off the grill.
So I have now brought the oxtails off the grill and brought them back into the house. So I'm about to add them now to the pressure cooker. Now, don't y'all joan on me, because yes, I do have the old, y'all know y'all have some of these pots still, okay? Yeah, and I still have mine. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the oxtails into the pressure cooker rather than just doing it one by one. You can see, let me show you what they look like. They look fantastic. And I'm even adding the onions that I smoked out there because I thought that would probably give it a good flavor. So, of course, y'all know I love this better than bouillon, and this is the beef base. I use that, obviously, because we're doing beef oxtails. So we want to now put the, probably, this is 2 cups of water, and I use about a teaspoon. So I would say like a teaspoon for every 2 cups of water. I'm going to add a little bit more. But you also want to add some onions in here. So a really rough chop, because when you use a pressure cooker, of course, it's going to, it puts a lot of pressure on the food, which is good because that's how the seasoning and the food and the flavor gets into the meat. So that's why you want to use a pressure cooker. But if you're going to put some vegetables in there, you need to put really big ones in there, because otherwise they're going to disintegrate. That's why I am not going to put my butter beans in, and this is a can of butter beans. I'm not going to put those in until I take them out and I put them into another pot when I make the gravy. If you put those in now, they're going to just disintegrate and it's not even worth doing. So I'm going to put a tad bit more seasoning, a little bit more of the oxtail seasoning. And don't forget, we seasoned them pretty good before I even, before I cook them. And you want to be generous with that seasoning and really coat the oxtails with all of the seasonings that I showed you earlier. So I'm going to put a little bit more water in here, and you can see I put already 4 cups. I think I'm going to add another about 6 cups of water. You can see that. Let's go on and cover this up. So once we're done here, I will show you then how to make the gravy. All right, so the pressure cooker is now whistling, or at least steaming. You can see and hear the steam coming out. Ooh, and I can smell it too, and it smells wonderful. Okay, so now I have finished the oxtails, you can see, in the pressure cooker, and I turned them off. It only actually took a half hour rather than an hour. So you want to make sure that you don't overcook in a pressure cooker, because if so, then they can come out like mush. But a half hour was perfect for 7 pounds of oxtails. So now what I'm gonna do is just make a little bit of gravy. I don't want it thick or anything too thick. And this, I just chopped up about 2 green onions and about 1/4 of a white onion. And I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic, because of course I just love garlic. about a tablespoon. Teaspoon, I'm sorry, about a teaspoon. So now I'm gonna make the gravy. And this is not traditional when it comes to Jamaican style because they don't do the gravy. But I like mine just a little thicker. So I'm gonna saute the onions. And I also put just a little bit of a serrano pepper in there because y'all know I like it spicy. So I'm gonna saute this until it's nice and translucent and it becomes fragrant. You don't wanna cook this too much because you don't wanna burn the garlic. If you burn garlic, it ends up tasting bitter. And I'm gonna go on and add some flour to this. And not much because again, I don't wanna make it too thick. I don't want it like a thick, thick gravy. So I'm gonna just add like maybe 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons. Then I'm gonna mix it around and you wanna make sure that you cook the flour off. Otherwise, then you will have that floury taste in your gravy and you don't want that. So now I'm gonna take the oxtails, you can see, oh my gosh, I tasted one and they were gorgeous. And we're just gonna pour this in here. And you can see the meat is just tender from the pressure cooker, just falling off the bone. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna add your butter beans. Had you added these butter beans while they were in the pressure cooker, they would have disintegrated. So now you add them in there, give it a nice little stir, and then let it, cook not much longer because they're done already. I just want the butter beans to sort of get done, cook a little bit. So I'm gonna cover them, let them cook for like maybe 10 minutes. And on this burner, I've got my rice and peas mine. So I'm gonna put it all together, taste it for you and let you know how delicious it is. Okay, so now I've got the final product. I've got my oxtails. I made a little rice and peas, you can see that. So now it's time for the taste test. Let's see what we got. Oh my goodness, these are so tender. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I can taste the smokiness. That gravy is phenomenal. I'm gonna need a moment alone right now. Y'all better ask somebody. These oxtails will make you slap the whole generation before you. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And I wish I could sit here and talk to y'all a little bit more, but I gotta finish up these oxtails because they're fabulous. I'm sorry to talk with my mouth full, but they're that good. Until next time, cheers.